My sister. Did you watch it?
Hello. Let me see here. Set everything up. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop in here briefly and share my happiness, it's like my excited conviction, because things are moving in the direction that I want. And so here's the thing, it's not just me. I talked to a friend of mine this morning who is one of the people who was going through some challenges recently, and my friend with me diving into this Neville Goddard stuff and like really and she and I practice this stuff together where it's like we'll just kind of, I did a video back where I called it Delulu, where it's like I hate to say delusional because it makes it sound like it's a negative crazy thing. It's not, but it's like just speaking as though and like acting as though everything you want in your life is already the way you want it to be, and not like, oh, I'm going to do this, or when XYZ happens, then da 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 da. You know, it's like, no, right now, you know, what a great day because this happened, and oh, I'm, you know, having this experience and that experience, and so anyway, so she called me up. And I mean, I would say this, she was at the point of like having her phone cut off because she didn't have the money to pay her phone bill. Just, I mean, it was down to that kind of stuff. And in fact, I tried to reach her yesterday, and it was like one of those, like, you know, you get that automatic recording, and I was like, oh, damn, it happened, right? Like, I couldn't get through. And then she called me today. I was like, oh, okay, so she's back online, and shared with me that her phone bill got taken care of. She didn't cover it, but it got taken care of. And then she received some income unexpectedly, and she's about to move to another residence, and she was kind of freaking out because she didn't have, like, she really needed help to manage, you know, all the different things. And it's like, how am I going to do this? And the time is coming to a close. She's got to be out by the end of the week. Just all these things were like piling up on her, and she was freaking out, you know. And like one by one, everything. She's like, oh, and this guy called who actually has been receiving pay to like be her assistant, and she didn't even know that this was the case. So he's like, is there anything you want me to do? And I was like, oh, girl, like, so he's already been paid. I was like, well, can he help you move? And she's like, yeah. He said he's gonna come and do this stuff for me. So like everything worked out. Pardon me. As you can see, I'm outside. I'm at a little coffee shop. I just met with someone. Yay, it was great. So her stuff worked out. So I listened to what she was talking about, and then I shared some things that were happening to me professionally. Some doors are opening. Some interesting takes on some stuff I've been working on for a while, which hopefully will lead to great opportunities for a number of people. We'll see some new exciting things I get to work on. Yay! Yeah, I mean, I can't go into detail about any of that stuff because it's, you know, I just can't. But it makes me feel really good because for a while it felt like things were really stagnant. Like, what is happening? Like, I'm putting forth all this effort and I'm, you know, doing this and doing that, and I was getting great feedback all the time, like amazing feedback on, oh, your experience and your resume and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, well then where does it? Let's connect the dots here. The dots were not connecting. I'm like, what is going on? And rather than continue to just pull my hair out and stress about it, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play this game and act as if and speak as if and conduct my life like not tripping. Waking up in the morning like, I feel great. I'm not worried about the different things, you know, bills, bank account, you know, what's going to happen next. I just let that go and began instead to like dream about the things that yeah, the life that I expect that I'm supposed to be living in, right? Like, this is who I am, this is how I'm supposed to be living, and I did. I just, played that game kind of, but like it was real, And then lo and behold, so here's what happened actually. A week or so ago, I was talking to the same friend I mentioned a minute ago, talking to her on the phone. I had done something that day. What was it? I forget, but I was like, I had finished whatever the appointment was. And it was a really pretty day outside, and I didn't want to just go home, and so I was like, well, I pulled over for a bit. I was talking on the phone, and I was like, well, I'll run by Trader Joe's real quick. Like, I had no business going to Trader Joe's. I didn't really need anything. But those little bitty oranges, those like little mandarins, I eat a lot of those. They're so delicious. And sometimes, I don't know what it is, this season they've been really good, really sweet. So I was like, well, let me roll in here real quick and just get a bag of oranges. So I walk into Trader Joe's, I pick up that, maybe one or two other things. And when I'm on my way out, I'm still on the phone. I have my little earphones in, talking to my friend. I hear somebody go, Kelly. And I'm like, I'm, newly back in town. I hear someone calling my name. I look, and it's a friend of mine that I haven't seen in forever. And he's like, what's up? I thought that was you. Fortunately, I looked really cute. See, that's why you gotta act as if you already have the millions and the this and the that. So I happened to look really good that day, thank God. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? How are you? And so we talked a little bit, and I said, well, give me your number. What are you up to? And he shared a little bit about what he was doing. I said, I'm going to call you. Let's get in touch, like, for real. Because, sometimes you see people and it's like, let's connect. And then never really happens. And in fact, with him before that had happened, where it's like, okay, we're going to get together. And then, But I called him or I messaged him the next day, like, what's going on? Let's talk. And so he's like, well, come and meet me and whatever. And so I met him, like, I don't know, a day or two later. And he began to share some things with me, like what he's been working on and just, catching up. Which has now led to this opportunity, and I'm so excited. So I just met him here at this coffee shop, and he was sharing with me some of the things that he wants me to help him with, which is great. And so it's just the door opening. There's a lot of interesting opportunities, and I'm telling you, just a matter of weeks ago, I was stressed to the hilt, wondering where is the way through? How do I get through this very challenging situation, this time in my life where everything is like coming unglued? What's up? And now it is seeming like just, God is in the mix as usual and letting things work out. So it happens to be beautiful out. It feels good to be out and back in the flow. Now I feel like myself again, I just went through a period of like months where I was like just not at my best and stressed all the time and just off kilter, like not at my center, not in the way that I know I normally function, just like sort of mentally and all of that. I just was like, always off. And it's been so good to feel like I'm back where I need to be, energetically, physically, even geographically. It just feels good to be here. I'm in California, like, I'm just a California girl. Look, see, Malibu, this is me. I'm just, so it feels good to be here. But anyway, the point of all this is to say, like I've shared before, and so like my girlfriend who was saying, who had her phone cut off and all this stuff that she was up against, the move and all that, and then lo and behold, all of a sudden, things just sort of click into place. She's like, girl, I didn't even do anything. I said, exactly, but you did. Like, you began to think like everything was working out. She called me the other day and she's like, oh God, I'm going through it. And I was like, hold on. You're going to be in a new place. You already know this. Don't worry about how it's going to happen. You know that things are going to get packed up. We know. So we talked through her feeling funky. Because that can happen. You're going to feel away sometimes. But you don't let that stop you. So we talked through it. I've definitely had periods where I'm talking through my stuff where I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And it's like, no. Rather than ruminate on this problem, that problem, the challenges, the stress, whatever, click into everything's great. I feel all the feelings I want to have personally, in terms of my career, financially, my health, wellness, everything. And and just stay in that space, even though things around you, like in your 3D world, right? It doesn't look like it. You look at your bank account, it's like, nope, it's not showing me what I want to see. Or you're having a challenge with a person or whatever it may be, right? You just, as Neville Goddard always says, you persist in the belief and in the feeling that everything is exactly as you want it to be. And so that's what I've done, and that's what she did, and it's like really good. So, and then challenges will continue to come up from time to time, but you just to work your consciousness. You just imbue your consciousness. I love that word. You imbue your consciousness with thoughts and belief of that this is who I am. This is my life. Of course, I'm going to be, successful, whatever success means to you. It doesn't have to mean money necessarily, whatever that means to you. It could be in your relationships, it could be in your health, it could be with your business, whatever. And so what is that person that you are, the successful person that you are, how does this person move through the day? How does this person act? How does this person think and speak? And how do they interact with other people and all of that? And you just begin to do that. And, maybe you can't go sit and have, a fabulous, $200 lunch at the Four Seasons, but you maybe go have a cup of coffee there, or maybe you go to some place that's super low key. Maybe you take yourself on a picnic lunch. You buy a baguette and some cheese from the grocery store for $5 or whatever, and you sit outside in some place that's really pretty, and you just feel, the good feeling of that. It doesn't have to, like, if you don't have money right now to do whatever it is, that doesn't have to stop you, it shouldn't stop you feeling that you're well off in whatever way. So, and I have certainly done that for sure. I did not have the money to do many of the things that I might normally like to do. I do what I can in the meantime to make myself feel good. So, including, remember when I was back east and I was sitting in my office, in my car, it was cold, but I'd get a cup of tea from home. Sometimes I'd buy a cup of tea, go sit in there, do my emailing, write in my journal, just like get my mind in a place where it made me feel good. That was the beginning, because it was super challenging back then. Anyway, I think I've made my point. I've talked for long enough. Just want to pop in and share what's happening on this lovely day. I'm at this busy coffee shop. I hope you can hear me. Anyway, hello to you. Yay! I'll keep you posted as things turn the corner. And I do this again because I know there's people out there who are going through it. And I think it's just good to see sometimes when there's another person who's also felt like shit for a while, come to the other side of things and be like, oh my gosh, this is working for this person. Maybe it could work for me too, right? I've certainly done that. I've tuned into people who I've seen them go through their journeys, whether I know them personally or someone I look at online, or again, I tune into these people whose words and speeches or whatever are just really powerful for me. So that's what I have to offer you today. Mwah. As always, peace and love. And we'll talk soon. Bye.